Hi there, my name is Judy Vitale and I'm the astrologer with reaaaallly.com, and I'm here with your monthly forecast for August 2011. Yeah, I know, August is a great month. It kind of just goes through, we're trying to hold on to those summer days, and even though it's sort of hot and miserable in many parts of the world, it can also be very gratifying to know that we have these summer days, because before long it's not going to be summer anymore. Well, this year you're really going to love it, because we're going to have Mercury Retrograde from August 2nd to August 26th. And this is going to slow things down even more, at least from the way that we perceive things. While it appears to us that Mercury is moving backwards in the sky, we lose contact with our ability to communicate, and the things around us don't work the way that they normally do. Computers get all messed up, and cars don't work the way they're supposed to. Now, you don't have to fall victim to this. You can, of course, prepare for it. You can also, even after the retrograde has started, at least, if you're going to go on a trip, check your car out. Best thing to do is to do so before the retrograde begins, which will be Tuesday, August 2nd again. But if you haven't made it yet and you're seeing this after August 2nd, still just always check and recheck everything, back up all your files, that sort of thing. It's just the things that normally work like this will take longer to do. Mercury retrograde will be in Leo. It will be all about us discovering who we are and bringing our talents out so that they can be used in terms of bringing the world into a better place. And we're going to really need that, because during the month to come there are going to be a few difficult aspects. It's not going to be anywhere near as bad as March and April in terms of the rush of events, everything happening one thing after the other. But there are going to be some things that you need to know about. One of them is going to be during the week of August 8th, 9th, and 10th, around there. The first thing we will have is a second visit of Mercury and Neptune opposing one another. When this happens, it's really hard to tell what the truth is. It's really hard to think clearly. The best thing to do is to stay in touch with your very deepest intuition and whatever contact you have with your Creator, because it's the only thing that's going to make sense to you. And that will be on the 8th. Then on the 9th, you're going to have Mars square Uranus. We're all going to have Mars square Uranus. This is very difficult. This is accident proneness. This is Mars coming to the cardinal axis that we've talked about so many times on readthestars.com. And it's about some kind of, sudden action that could possibly involve violence. So in addition to the mess that we have in Washington, D.C., I do anticipate some other things resurging as Mercury goes back and retrogrades and brings some things out that were not brought to light in the beginning. So look for some trouble in the Middle East, possibly. Also Japan, possibly. Something could happen again there. So on August 10th, Mars will be opposite Pluto. At that point, I expect people to be fighting for power and positioning for power. I don't think the mess in Washington is going to go away on August 2nd. I think that it's going to be protracted. Even if they come to an agreement, I think that we're still just going to have a real mess. Because, things are the way they are, and we know they have to change, but nobody really wants to do the heavy lifting in order to achieve that. We have a new moon at the end of the month, and the full moon in the middle of the month. Nothing's backwards. It's just that the full moon on August 13th is going to be culminating what we began during the new moon of July the 30th. So that's going to be in the sign of Aquarius. It's going to be about how well have I brought out my talents in order to serve humanity and to be of service to other people and to bring light into the world. So think about those things, because we're really going to need that. In when we have the new moon in Virgo at the end of August, on August 28th, you can count on having the feeling that you really want to get back to work. It's sort of that back to school feeling, like, ooh, it's time to sharpen our pencils and put on shoes that don't let our toes float free and that kind of stuff. So that's going to be happening August 28th. And then on August the 30th, we're going to have Jupiter go into a retrograde in Taurus. This won't necessarily be bad. It will just mean that those people who are enjoying Jupiter in their sign and making nice aspects to their sign, those being Taurus, of course, and Capricorn and Virgo, and a few other signs too. Most of us have it in some part of our chart, and it's doing good things for us. We'll go back, and maybe some opportunities that you weren't sure about before will come up again, and you'll have a second thought about them and maybe take them on. The danger when you're having a lot of Jupiter in your life always is that you'll take on more things than you can really handle. So don't do that, okay? So that's what I have to tell you about August so far. Saturn's still moving direct, Uranus is still moving backwards. Neptune is going to go back into Aquarius on August the 4th and stay there for a little while until next February. And this is his last song in Aquarius. So, you know, I guess we should kind of try to enjoy that too, because it's not going to be there forever. And when it does come out and Neptune is in Pisces, we're going to have the same feeling that we've had ever since April, where things just don't seem to be working out right. The truth just doesn't seem to be coming out. And then finally, Pluto is also still retrograde, but just slowing down enough and getting ready to come out in September. So we are really going to get a push in September. Enjoy August, because when it gets cold again, we're all going to be complaining about how nice it would be if only it were a little bit warmer. So even if you're a little bit too hot right now, just think about what it's going to be like in a few scant months. Enjoy your August, I repeat myself. And if you have any questions for me, please send them to Judy, Judi, at reaaaallly.com.